The following segment is a paid commercial program by Heritage Bank, member FDIC. It's time for Ask the Expert on News Talk 1340 and 96.3 FM, KWLM.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for Ask the Expert once again this morning. And joining us is Ruth McDonald. She is a deposit operations lead at Heritage Bank. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Certainly appreciate it. First time you'd been into the radio station.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and it's not like you just moved here either.
No, I grew up in the Spicer area. I live outside of New London now. I've been here my whole life.
Yeah, and never came to the radio station.
I know. I've been by it many times.
Yes, well, welcome. Glad to have you here. So first of all, tell us exactly what a deposit operations lead does.
Well, I work back office at Heritage Bank, so I'm not in the lobby, but I help with deposit operations. So that's taking care of all the back office duties that deal with the deposit area mostly. I don't work with loans a lot, mostly deposit accounts and those sorts of things, and just the day-to-day operations that takes place behind the scenes that keeps everything running every day.
That's right. So people come in and they want to deposit their paycheck or what have you. You make sure it gets to the right account.
I do, and if it doesn't, then I fix it.
Then you're the one they call, yeah.
Yeah. We take care of all of those things that have to be done every day to keep everything running smoothly. I have a great team.
Well, Ruth, as we know, there's a lot of bad actors out there. So many people putting their powers to use for evil instead of for good. And we're exposed to it through text messaging and emailing and phone calling all the time. Where should we start? What are you seeing as the most prevalent issue right now for people to avoid some of these bank-related scams?
Well, there are a lot out there, Todd, and remember that there are a lot of bad actors, and the fraudsters are looking for your information to benefit them, not to benefit you. And you really have to be careful to avoid those situations and protect your finances and your personal information.
We hear about phishing, and it's spelled with P-H, not F. Everybody loves phishing with an F. P-H is a danger to you. What is that exactly, and how do we avoid it?
Well, phishing is looking to lure you in to providing personal information that can be used against you to maybe hack your accounts, take over your identity, steal money, or maybe persuade you to send someone money that you wouldn't normally even be dealing with. Phishing emails and texts are ways to get you to reveal some of that information. And it's really important to be wary of those things and be aware they exist, and really slow down and take a look at all the parts of something you receive. Was this an unsolicited email or text? Are you set up for alerts of this kind from your bank, or is it just something random? So that's the place to start.
They are trying to imitate banks, IRS, any entity that you really do pay attention when you get an email from them.
That's correct, and they will try to trick you. They may ask for help, and a lot of times it's urgency. You have to act right now. They want you not to think about what you're doing and maybe reaching out for help, or this charity, or maybe your utility. Oh, they're going to shut off your utilities. Well, so often the sophistication level has really come up with, I would just say, images and looking like a legitimate thing. Really watch where that message is coming from. The best thing, if you get an email or a text that doesn't seem quite right, or you're a little concerned, or it's threatening, is to go to that direct website. If it's your utility, don't go in through that email. Go to the utilities website. Go to the bank's website. Log into your digital banking from a separate login. That sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's inside your own home. You're dealing with that in your emails and your text messages and all sorts. But just because you go outside of that, there's stuff out in the community. There's a point of sale, purchase things, all kinds of stuff.
Yes, definitely.
What is jugging? I don't know what that is.
Jugging is a term used where people might be hanging around. It's a more physical type threat that might have someone hanging around an ATM, looking over your shoulder. How much cash are you taking out? Maybe hanging outside of a bank building, hoping to rob someone that's come out with a large amount of money, or that sort of thing. So jugging, to avoid that, you really need to make sure you're using ATMs that are well lit, that have people around, not in a secluded location. If you see individuals around that you're not comfortable with, maybe just go on and go to a different place where there's more activity, that sort of thing. And just really safeguarding your cash and not counting it in public or in your car, maybe when you get to your car, locking the door. Just really being aware of surroundings is the best thing that you can do, and who's around you when you're withdrawing cash or carrying large amounts of cash or at ATMs.
The term situational awareness sounds military. It isn't. You need to be situationally aware of your surroundings for this very type of thing, too.
Always.
Yeah, make sure you look around, see who's near you, especially when you're withdrawing money. What if somebody notices something unusual in their bank account, a withdrawal they don't recognize or something like that? What do they do?
Well, first of all, yes, review all your activity on your account. And, sometimes people say, well, I didn't make this purchase, or that sort of thing. Investigate a little further. Sometimes it is a charge you made, but maybe they used a little bit different name from the store. Maybe they're owned by another company or something, and that's who they run their transactions through, or they use a third party. So it could be a purchase you did, or ask your spouse, was this something you purchased if you're on a joint account? But definitely look at that activity. Check your activity every day. See what other charges might have been through. Sometimes people sign up for a subscription service and they aren't aware of it when they agree to something online, and they don't realize the fine print is going to charge them every month. Find out if it's something like that. Otherwise, always call your bank. Call your local bank, say, I've noticed this, can you help me? Or is there more information that might be attached to this transaction? And go from there.
Yeah, and the banks want to help you, too, because you want to find out, gosh, how did this happen? And let's find out what's going on. You want to help customers get out of that. Instead, they wind up, having money drained from their account. So that's the first place to go. If you see something like that, call up your bank after you've done your research and make sure the spouse didn't make a charge.
Right, definitely. And we do want to help you, and we want to get that activity stopped as soon as possible and help you get your funds back if possible. If there's a dispute that needs to be filed on a particular charge, we can help you with that. And we want to help you right away if we can.
A good place for people to get their credit card is through their bank themselves, and because then you've got somebody nearby. If you believe your card is compromised, you can go into Heritage Bank and get some help right here locally.
Definitely. And another thing that we offer at Heritage Bank is in the mobile app, you can turn your card off, turn your card on, get alerts sent to you. Card activity is a big thing where it can be compromised. One of the other things to watch for using cards is the possibility of devices that have been planted on ATMs or other terminals. The tap to pay is a good way to avoid that skimmer that might be attached to something.
Okay.
Tap to pay wallets can be used. Like I said, the other thing is that turning off and turning on. I know some people have it set up where they turn their card off every night because they won't be using it then. Or if it's a bank account they don't use very often, maybe just leave that card off. The other thing is just check your account often to make sure that there isn't unusual activity. And if the card is compromised, that's another place that we can help you file disputes and get your money back and get that card turned off right away so that there aren't additional fees.
Sometimes a strange banking alert can be the first indication that maybe your identity was stolen, which is a nightmare scenario for people. That's sometimes the first sign of that, isn't it?
Yes, it can be, definitely. So that is an indication that something might be off, might be hacked. If you suspect that your identity has been stolen, one of the things that you can do is lock down your credit with the 3 credit bureaus. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Another thing is to get a free annual credit report. An annualcreditreport.com can help you keep track if anything is opened in your name or that sort of thing. I should alert you, too, that sometimes there are subscription-type services for free credit. They aren't free. No. People end up getting charged every month. Free credit reports are available. Annualcreditreport.com is that. And so make sure you're going into the right places, too, because people do want to bring you in and start charging you for things. So there's a lot of things you can do to avoid those situations.
So you mentioned the 3 major credit reporting bureaus. What's a FICO score then?
That has to do with your credit bureau score that's gathered from a lot of different places. The way you've paid your bills, the way you've handled your credit over the years, and that score can be used to end up with rates you get on loans, on credit cards, things you're offered. So it's a good thing to have a good credit score. Mm-hmm. We actually have a credit coach at Heritage Bank that can help improve your credit.
That's terrific. Mm-hmm. People do need that. Sometimes, like you said, it can help with interest rates and everything.
It can help everywhere.
Yeah, not just to actually get a loan versus not, but a better rate once you get the loan.
Exactly.
So passwords on people's things. Don't use the same password on everything, and mix them up and talk about that a little bit and how that can be a breach in security for people.
Definitely. A lot of times, especially I'm part of it now, I think, too, the older generation, there wasn't so much fraud. And I think there's a lot more trust, and you have to be more wary of that. And something that can be used for passwords, people used to use, just things that were well known. And I would suggest you don't want to use things like your date of birth, your children's names, even your pet names. With social media out there, people that are looking to really scam you might go into social media. They know your dog's name. Mm-hmm. They know your wedding anniversary because people put it out there, unknowingly. Mm-hmm. So a way to avoid that is don't ever reuse passwords. Use separate passwords for each account that you log into. A password generator or vault is a great way to have very random passwords generated for you. Usually you can save them in your phone through a whole bunch of different apps that are available, and I would recommend using that. A longer password is better, and one that mixes uppercase, lowercase symbols, numbers, all those things.
Multi-factor identification, too. Like I use that a couple of times. You sign in and you get a text message and then link in that way. Or I tend to use biometrics with my thumbprint a lot, too.
Yes, those are all good extra measures that should be used whenever possible. I think a lot of the companies now are using those text or the security code they send you either through your registered text phone number or email, so that when you log in, it's not just your username and password, but that extra level. Or maybe you're logging in from a new device. So then you might have to answer security questions that you've set up when you've set up that account. Those are very important. Make sure you're using those. At Heritage Bank, in a lot of places, they also have another security question, like if you call in, what is that security question you've set up? And nobody else should know that, because that shouldn't be registered anywhere else in the system.
Yeah. Just to recap, top ways for folks to make sure that their accounts are safe.
Well, once again, slow down, be wary of those unsolicited messages. Use strong passwords and multi-factor authentication, those security levels that can be added, and those security questions, and just really slow down and think.
Ruth, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, Ruth McDonald joining us this morning. She is the deposit operations lead for Heritage Bank on Ask the Expert.